Gamescom 2025. How was the Artist Alley experience? And can I recommend it to others? Hi, I'm Leffy, and I shared my Gamescom booth with my sister Raid this year. We are both full-time convention artists and usually don't share booths, but because neither of us has a driver's license right now, we weren't able to bring stock for basically a 10-day event. Plus, as you may have heard, Gamescom is not cheap. In fact, it has one of the most expensive Artist Alley prizes in Europe that I'm aware of, so let's talk about costs. In 2024 we had a corner booth, and in 2025 we were downgraded to a row booth. Mind you that the rest of the prices that are listed here are the German brutto, so the price including the VAT. We are extremely lucky to have family that lives in Cologne. We only paid for a hotel during the first 2 nights. We didn't stay the entire time because I'm not strong enough to carry 4 suitcases up 4th floor, so yeah, there was that. As for traveling, we traveled by train, and both our train tickets were the following amounts, which brings the total down to these amounts. Mind you that our production cost is not included here. Since we mainly sell prints, we hit the 2 to 6% mark on average with our production costs. We sell 90 by 40 mouse pads too, and for those the production cost is around 33%. What I can say comparing 2024 to 2025 is that the booths have got more expensive than the year before. I heard that the staff introduced more row booths instead of corner booths to cut down costs for the Artist Alley in general, which I'm grateful for. We'll see how it turns out next year. So now that we're done talking about the costs, I would like to give you a bit more context about Gamescom first before we dive into the vlog part of the video. Gamescom's first official Artist Alley was actually opened last year, meaning that the visitors at Gamescom are very different from those at anime conventions that I usually go to. People oftentimes think that we are dealers and haven't touched base with the concept of Artist Alleys before. I also don't see a lot of cosplayers around, like most people are just regular gamers, averaging around, I would say, 20 to 40 years of age, so it's a bit older than usual conventions that I go to. Additionally, Gamescom is the only convention where I actually don't have to wait to go to the toilet, which is very telling about the demographic attending it, so there's a lot more male people there. So, with the context out of the way, let's slip into the vlog part. Cheers! So yeah, we just finished assembling our booth. I'm super tired. It's like 6 p.m. or something. And we're not done 100%, but tomorrow morning we'll do the rest. At least we had help putting our suitcases down the stairs because I was really scared of that. We asked someone from the fair to do it for us, from the service center. Von der anderen Seite. Ah. Ja, ich will die Leute, ja. Nein. Wo ist denn der Dom? Da. Hey, da kommt sehr Schutzpflicht. Die Sardinen, die uns angreifen wollen. Man sieht das nicht, weil die Kamera, glaube ich, schlecht ist, aber... Deine Kamera ist mit uns schlechter? Yep. Oh, Screwy, da oben sind ja Spiegel. Fuck. Cheers. Cheers. Tired. Yes. It's sardined full. What do you say about that? Tiring. Been raining. Also, links hatte einen Unfall mit einem Auto, was seitlich, glaube ich, reingefahren ist. Aber ich verstehe nicht, warum die drei nicht fährt. Vielleicht hatte die auch einen Unfall. Ja, vielleicht haben beide einen Unfall. Yeah, this is good. So our Saturday is going a lot slower. It's like similar to last year, though Friday was like Saturday. And Gamescom is a really weird convention because I feel like Thursday is the best day, and from there on it steadily goes down a bit. Or Friday is your best day, but Saturday is pretty empty. Like the fullest one was Thursday as well. So my sister is kind of selling this stuff, and I'm working on our next foil print. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's like around 2 p.m. now. How are you doing? Okay.
It's getting fuller now.
It's getting fuller?
Yeah.
Update, it's 3 hours later now. It's going a lot better. Like it's actually catching up like a regular Saturday. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. We have to say goodbye to our display because we can't take it by car, and a friend is taking it for us, which is really nice and cool, but yeah, we're just putting some stuff back. The convention ended 2 hours ago and we're still here. I just want to capture this scene. We just got to our hotel room. We were so done, we got ourselves a pizza. And then we just sat here, put these pillows on the floor, ate pizza in silence, and just watched hopes go on. Yep, that's the life, my bros. Just letting her take care of all the money. We made it. We had 2 lovely friends take 2 of our suitcases. We currently have 4, 2 for every person. We just found a way out of our hall without having to go upstairs. That was a huge problem I was concerned about, because always at like 8 p.m. when the convention closes, they close down all of the elevators and escalators. So yeah, there's no way of getting out with heavy suitcases, but we found a way out of our hall. Thankfully, because I was really worried about that. But yeah.
Wanna kommen wir hoch wieder?
Yeah. So I sadly didn't film a lot on Sunday and on our way back because I was so exhausted from the convention that picking up my phone wasn't my #1 priority. But just to end this section of the video, we arrived safe and sound home. I want to now address the question most of you are probably most curious about. Was Gamescom worth it? To that I answer, it did go better for us despite having a corner booth last year and downgrading to a row booth this year. So yes, for us as full-time convention artists, hold on to that thought, I will get back to it later, it was worth it for us. However, we did work a lot on creating new pieces specifically for this event only. We had more foil prints and therefore more expensive stock, and people were happy to spend more than they usually do at our booths. However, I heard from other artists that it went worse for them this year than it did last year, sadly, and that people who also offer merch often got irritated looks from visitors complaining that the prices were too high. Don't get me wrong, this happens at every convention and to us too, but apparently it was more frequent at Gamescom for these artists. And I believe it's because the visitors are not accustomed to artist alleys yet, so they expect cheaper dealer prices. Now talking about numbers specifically. Though I am very curious about others, I'm not a big fan of being very blunt about my numbers up front, especially in public. But I will say this, I made a little more than at Dokumi this year, and Dokumi 2025 was my best convention ever. But, and this is a very big but, as I said, I had better prints at my booth, drawn specifically for the target audience. Plus, I shared the booth with my sister Raid, who usually performs a bit better at conventions than I do. Because the space on the table was so small, we only had space to display our absolute bestsellers and also new arrivals, which I believe improved our setup automatically. To further compare Gamescom with Dokumi, Dokumi is 3 days long. Gamescom is 5 days long, with double the amount of opening times. So it felt really draining, even though it financially went very well for us. Despite it being one of the fullest events on the sardine scale, the willingness to buy art and get into a conversation with us was lesser than at other events we attend. Coming back to the opening times, you were supposed to be there at 9 AM to 8 PM, which I can tell you is extremely draining, especially when you're running on almost no sleep for like 5 days. To which I say, I cannot recommend Gamescom if you're not a full-time convention artist and would have to take vacation days to get there. To go back to the number talk real quick, I can tell you this. I wouldn't recommend it if you don't at the very least hit around 10k in revenue at your best event, or at a 4-day event, for instance. Which I know sounds like a lot, but I already mentioned the high financial risk at the beginning of the video. And I think that the 10k mark is somewhat a realistic standard to go by. Of course, it's just an estimate, it depends on a lot of factors. The more the better, of course, especially if you're not a print artist like I am, and your production costs are a lot higher than mine. It's not just about the revenue you make, it's also about the time you spend preparing for the convention, the profit that actually sticks in the end after taxes. I often hear of the third principle when it comes to pricing things in Germany. A third is for production cost, a third for taxes, and the last third should be aimed for your profit. That's a rough standard, for example, that I know restaurants go by, but since I have significantly lower production costs than restaurants do, my profit margin should be even higher. Now remember the chart I showed you in the beginning? Imagine if I didn't have family in Cologne and had to spend another 1k on a hotel. So the cost would hit the 4k mark just to exist at Gamescom. If we apply the third rule here, we should aim for a revenue of at least 12k. I really hope that clears up some things regarding numbers. As I said, this is an estimate on my part, I only sell prints, I do conventions full-time, so please keep that in mind. So, to recap, was Gamescom worth it? Yes, for me, but no, unfortunately, for other artists that I talk to. Cases where I wouldn't recommend Gamescom are if you're not a full-time convention artist, if you don't offer gaming or pop culture related art, you don't roughly hit at least 10k revenue in your best event yet, and you have substantially higher hotel and traveling costs, because as I said, I was very lucky to have family in Cologne. Now, of course, I don't want to scare you off from attending this event if one or more of these points apply to you. It's definitely a unique experience, and Wednesday is always a really slow day, so if you could organize some time to look around, it could be worth it if you're interested in games. Just consider the financial risk and aim for something greater than just breaking even. Mind you that all of this comes from a perspective from someone who lives from conventions. So that's it, we made it. Feel free to ask questions about the event if you have any in the comments. I would be happy to share my thoughts with you. And that's it from me. Bye!